I want to show you how to get all the NFTs of a user on the Polygon network and display the data on the front end in an application that uses very little code thanks to Moralis' software development kit. My name is Chris, I'm from Moralis, and our job is to help you build cross-chain dapps faster and solve the bottlenecks in your applications. Guys, if you like the content, please remember to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, switch the notifications on. We produce regular content to help you build amazing apps, and there is a Discord channel for you in the description as well. So let's get involved and build the future together. Let's get started. Now, on OpenSea, you can go and find a user that has specific NFTs that are on the Polygon network or the Matic chain, and you can go and collect all of the information like these here and put them into your application. That's what we're going to build. If we take this contract or this user's address and paste it into this very simple app which we're going to replicate, we can do a search on that and it will actually pull in the same details using a Moralis SDK function. Just a simple line of code to pull that in. Let's go and jump straight into it. Now, whenever you're building any kind of app, you're going to need your boilerplate code. So if we go to docs.moralis.io, scroll down to build a simple dapp in 3 minutes, copy paste this HTML into your application, and then just be aware that in my editor, I'm going to be running this in something called Live Server, which is an extension. So I'll right click, open with Live Server. It looks like this. We're going to change that. We're going to remove one of those buttons and turn that into an input. And we're also going to change the title. And we will just simply call that Polygon NFT demo. The other thing we're going to do is connect our server. Now, I already have this on my clipboard, but what you're going to need to do is go and spin up a new Moralis server. So create an account and log in, and then open up a new server, create a new app, mainnet server. Fill in all these details, click all these chains, add the instance, and once it's loaded up, view the details, get the server URL and the application ID into your app. Okay, you've got the SDK code preloaded, so this should all work as normal. So if we save this, it won't change the look or feel that much, just shows you the search bar. We need to connect all of that up in just a moment. Okay, one other thing I'm going to need to do further in this tutorial, we're going to inject some HTML into our application. So I'm going to build an empty div here. I'm also going to build a function on the button, which will go and call the get NFTs, which we're going to need to build in a moment. So I'm just getting things ready. And actually a bit later on, I'm going to be using an ID on this input button to get our NFT address search function working. All right, good. So we can go and get started. Now, what we need to do is pull in the use of a Moralis function. So let's go back to our application, our documentation, and we're going to scroll to NFT balances. Okay, this is the documentation for how to use this particular function. And really, it all comes down to this single line. We're going to await moralis.web3.getNFTs, which is going to return an array of NFT objects, which is asynchronous. Okay, and it supports both ERC 721 and ERC 1155. We can pass in some options into this function, such as the chain that we want to search on and specifically the address. So actually, I will collect both of those two lines, and we need to wrap that in an asynchronous function. Okay. Now, I've already started the name of that function. I've called it getNFT, and I've attached that to the button, which we did just a moment or two ago. So let's write this function out. So it's an asynchronous function, and it's called getNFT. And inside there, we're going to definitely give it the 2 pieces of Moralis code. Okay, now that should work automatically once we have given it an address. And so I'll console log the response that we get there from this variable. Now, if I just go back to OpenSea, I went to this Tom Barler's account, so I'm just going to copy that user address. I'm going to put that user address in right there, and it's the Matic chain, and that's the address we want to search for. Let's save that, see if we have any errors. Just refresh this if it hasn't done already. It's actually called logout at the moment, but that's just because I haven't changed the name. So if I've just clicked that button, it should call that function, and in a second or two, there we go. It will return the 10 NFTs that are assigned to that particular user. And there's information inside there, the amount, contract type, name, so on and so on. And the token URI is the bit that stores the metadata. That's the bit that we're going to need to jump into. And there are attributes, an external URL, an image, and a name assigned within that metadata. Now, we mentioned in the documentation a moment ago that it returns an array of NFT objects. We've just seen that as part of our console log as well. We now need to loop through that array, and for each time it iterates through these NFTs, we need to go and fetch the metadata from that URI. Once it's fetched the metadata, we then need to use that in our application and inject that into HTML and put it on the front end of our application in here, in this empty div that you just can't see because it's not there. We'll change the name of the logout button to search. I'll also just attach this NFT address because we want to actually copy the NFT address in this search bar and get that to work it. I've hard coded it in here. So I'm just going to call this address, and then we'll just open up a variable. And we're going to have to go and get the element by the ID of the NFT address, and we want its value. Now the contract address will be in that search bar. We'll be able to get its value using this, and now it's going to pull that into that automatically. Okay, so that's that. The next thing we're going to need to do is begin a loop. Now, to save some time on the video, I'm just going to copy and paste in the snippet of the loop, and I'll talk you through it. We've still got the console log here, so let's just copy this in here. So we've got the array Polygon NFTs. We're going to do a for each loop on this one. For each iteration of the loop, we're going to go in and get the URL that we're going to need to fetch. Now, this code isn't really needed, but within our array, it's the token URI. So e.token URI is what we need. We'll go and fetch that URL. The response will turn into JSON, and then the data that comes back, we will then be able to use and inject into HTML. So the first thing you do is just select the empty div. Then you create a template literal, and within that you can create a new div class called NFT for each one of the NFTs. And inside that, have the data name inside a paragraph tag. We can have the data description if it exists inside there. Otherwise, if it doesn't exist, it will just give us back an empty string. And we'll inject the image into the div as well, with a fixed width of 100, fixed height of 100, and the source would be the data image. Okay, and once we've created that template literal, we will simply just append it to our empty div. So each time it loops around, it's just going to add some extra HTML into our application. So we'll save that and we'll see whether or not it works. Let's go and get that contract, or the address, should I say. We'll paste it in here. We'll press search. If it does work, it's not going to look very good. I think it's just going to be a single column of results that comes back. There we go. And there's no styling here. So again, just on my clipboard, I've got some very simple CSS, which I'm just going to paste into the app. I'll talk you through what I've done. There are two pieces of HTML that we have posted or injected. The first one is the empty content div, and the next one is each NFT has its own div. So the master content div, I've just put in a flex box, made it 85% width, and just centralized everything with an auto margin. And for each individual NFT div, I've made it a width of 24%, put it in a flex box, and directed it into a column and centralized everything. So if we save that, I might just to copy that because it will get rid of it, and we'll try it again. Put that in the search, and again, oh, well, there you go. I was going to say we'll give it a second, but it's returned the details and exactly how we looked at it at the beginning of the video. So as you can see, with just a single line of pretty powerful Moralis code, we can go and collect the NFTs from a contract address. It returns an array, which we can then loop over. The majority of our application is just that loop, turning it into HTML. But the heavy lifting part of this application is just a single line, and that's from the Matic chain. So we've seen on another video done on the Ethereum. Got this one here with Matic. We'll have a look at another one with Binance Smart Chain. And as you can see, the power of Moralis is that it just enables you to take care of all of those tricky, challenging tasks with just a single line of code. And that is the job for Moralis. So I hope that helped, guys. If it has, leave a comment, leave a like. And if there's any particular other bottleneck or issue that you're having in your apps, post it in the Discord channel and we'll look to get that recorded for you as soon as we can. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.